What's up, guys? Welcome to the Quarantine. I'm your host, Wolf, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Monsters Party Voodoo Madness by Insanity Games. Now it plays 2 to 6 players, and it says 14 plus, but my 9-year-old daughter played it no problem, and she actually won both times. And it plays in 15 to 45 minutes, which I would say is about accurate. For a 3-player game, we played twice within my wife's lunch break. So, now Voodoo or Monsters Party is, if you like games like, say, Werewolf, where there's a lot of bluffing and you're trying to deduce, that's the word I'm looking for, you're trying to deduce who's what and stuff like that, but you don't like that those games are 100% social, there is no actual gameplay aspect, this might be the game for you. Now, I am using the print and play copy of it. I'm using some cubes that I have from my game I'm making. And Office Depot screwed up on my prints, so a lot of these cards don't line up right, and all around they look like shit, but they were good enough to play it a few times, and they honestly didn't really affect the feel of the game. So, let's take a look how the game plays. Alright, this is pretty much what Monsters Party looks like for each player when it's first set up. Each player is going to get a deck of cards, their monster, which will have who they are on the back. It'll have the weaknesses of all the monsters here, which I'll explain. And it's going to have your life track. Now, there's two things I have to state. As usual, this is a preview/review. It's not a tutorial, so I may get a few rules wrong. And B, this is a Kickstarter early print and play copy of the game. So everything you see here is, of course, subject to change. These cubes you see here are actually from my personal collection, just for the game I'm making. So they're functional. But anyways, the way the game is going to work is you have all these different monsters that are going to be randomly shuffled out and handed to each player. Each player is going to look at it, similar to games like Werewolf and the Resistance. You're going to look at it and see who you are. On the back, see, we got the werewolf here. On the back, you're going to find the werewolf, and you see stakes hurt him. The green stone, I don't remember what it's called, hurts him. And wands hurt him. So you got to keep that in mind. Each player is going to do that, and you're going to secretly, on the back of each one has it, you're going to look and go, okay, what do I need to be worried about? And now everybody starts out with 3 life. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off with 5 cards. And again, Office Depot screwed up my prints, so these look terrible. But they were good enough to play it with, and it didn't really affect anything. So don't judge my like this, that looks like warm crap. Because they screwed up the lining up of the prints and whole 9 yards. But anyways, so you're going to draw your 5 cards. And then at the beginning of your turn, if you have 5 or more cards, you're just going to draw 2. If you have less than 5, you're going to draw up to 5. In my experience, outside of the first player of the first round, you're never going to have 5 cards. But anyways, the way this works is, if you notice, for example, our werewolf was weak to stakes, the exorcism rune, and magic wands. Because this is our hand, it's not a big deal. Or, no, wait a minute. We are the vampire, that's right. So we need stakes, the redstone, and crosses. So, what you're going to do is on your turn, you're going to pick up to 2 of these to play on another player. So let's zoom this out a little bit. Let's say we do have the werewolf over here. So we're going to go, we don't know he's the werewolf, so I'm going to randomly pick a couple cards. I'm going to do the cross and the exorcism stone. You're going to play those on him. Let me angle this up a little bit. There we go. And you're going to play those on him. So now he has his, let's just grab a couple cards. That's terrible. But let's say he's got his little hand of cards here. And he's going to look through them and go, alright, do I want to block any of these? And in the upper right hand corner, it shows what blocks them. So, to block the acid, or acid will block the crucifix. The crucifix will block the wand. There we go. So, I'll go, okay, I'm going to block this crucifix. Even though the crucifix doesn't hurt him. He may want me to think, Alright, why did he block that crucifix? Maybe he is either the devil or the vampire. I know he's not the vampire because I'm the vampire, so there's a good chance maybe he's the devil. So you wind up playing like that. And any time any damage is done, you would go like this exorcism stone. He said that couldn't go through. Even though that actually does hurt him, he's trying to throw us off. He will, let's just say this is his, he will go, okay, the devil gets hurt by the exorcism stone, so you'll move the devil down 1 health, and the werewolf moves it down 1 health, or is weak to it, so he moves that down 1 health. So this is his health marker. So everybody can look over at him and go, these are the health that he may be at. And I should also state, when you block this, when you block attacks, you don't have to actually use what blocks, like to block this crucifix. I could say, block with this. Of course, it doesn't block it, because when you block, you place them face down. The reason for that is, you have to mentally keep track of, alright, let's say this did hurt him. So he'd be at -1, so let's say he is the devil. Let's just assume he was. So now even though he only took 1 life because of how this played out, he has to mentally keep track that he's actually at 1 life. The reason for that is there are items in the game. Let's see if I can find them here. There are a couple other items in the game, like you get healing potions, which allow you to block, but you block face up and it heals a wound. Then you have the potion of, there you go, Revelation. You would play that as one of your attacks. So I would go, I want to play this. So you'd flip this over and reveal it. Go, wait a minute, that doesn't block the crucifix. So then he would have to readjust and go, okay, the crucifix hurt this, and the crucifix hurts the vampire. So you wind up going that way. So it's got a little bit of light deduction. It's got a little bit of take that and whatnot. So, I mean, it's a good light game. Took me 2 or 3 minutes to teach it to my wife and daughter. And we played again twice in a time span of 30 minutes. So let's go to the final thoughts. Monster Party was actually a lot of fun. To be completely honest, I didn't think I was going to like it when I was printing everything out and I was kind of looking over the rules and I was like, that sounds really complicated, not really really complicated, but more complicated than it should be, and it's not going to be that fun, and it's going to be kind of lame. To my surprise, it actually wound up being a lot of fun. We played it twice. It's, of course, a very aggressive game. It has its problems, but it is so light that those problems are kind of negligible. Like, for example, from the 2 or 3 games we played, it is very prone to everybody gangs up on one person, kills pretty much everybody in their list, and knocks 1 or 2 people out. There are a couple other rules that I didn't mention where you're allowed to accuse somebody. If I'm pretty sure that, like, for example, in that situation, it was only the devil, or, like, I was pretty sure he was the devil and he couldn't have been the vampire because I was, you can accuse him and go, I think you're the vampire, or the devil, sorry. And if they are, they're out of the game. If they are not, I just lose 2 health to all of the rolls. If that kills me, then I'm out of the game. So it's got a lot of deduction in it, and it's still got that social aspect of trying to get into somebody's head and go, well, wait a minute, did you block that just because you're trying to screw with me? But you didn't block that earlier. I threw a dagger at you. You didn't block it 2 turns ago, but now suddenly you're blocking it. So one of 2 things. Either you're trying to throw me off, or you're close to death, and now it's crunch time. But overall, fantastic game. I'm going to have a link, I think it's up here, and I will have it in the comments directly to the Kickstarter. I think you can pick it up. I think it's 24 or 26 US dollars, and I think it's free shipping. So fantastic little game. I highly recommend it, especially if you have children that you want to get into the whole deduction game. This is real light, and it actually has a gameplay element, and it's not just the social aspect. For example, my cousin hates those. Like, he doesn't like werewolf because it's just deduction or just social. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time in the quarantine.